Hello, everyone. Nick here, and we potentially might have the end of the Chugaconroy foot saga. And, there are people that are taking certain sides and such, and, I will definitely divulge in it. So, apparently, Lady Emily has come out with more DMs, and unfortunately, the DMs that Lady Emily came out with honestly actually ended up hurting her. Surprisingly, I was definitely siding with her initially, but now that she's came out with more, I'm just like, okay, so let me get this straight. You didn't want to take the pictures, is that what you're claiming? And now you did take the pictures, so yeah. Uh, at this point, I don't see any more victims coming forward, and if they do, by all means, but I kind of doubt it at this point. I really don't think we're going to see it. I will definitely go into full more things at my end of this, but we're going to go through the response together, and I will share my opinions. Okay, so unfortunately, this is as big as it gets on my screen. So, hey all, I first of anyone thinks it's helping to insult Emily on my back, please don't send any further negativity her way. Emily should be treated with respect. Good. I know that I have hurt Emily with my actions. These are my choices I made myself, and I don't think it's relevant how I felt or what my intentions were, just my actions. Good. I just want to say the end result is that I really hurt you and made you feel uncomfortable. Okay. I hate that anyone made you feel that way, and I wish you the best. Alright? It took me longer than it should have to take the hint that something was wrong when you cut contact with me. I shouldn't have assumed that you were busy with traveling and that things were fine. I only began putting it together when the silence continued. I pestered for too long, and I apologize for doing so. Well, this is a great step, automatically. When you communicated this to me in private a few months ago, I apologized to you directly and promised I would never repeat this kind of behavior again with anyone else. Once you shared how I made you feel, it was a huge wake-up call, and I immediately sought professional help through therapy. I've worked in the months ever since then to do what you have wished for me, learn and be better. Great. I have done and said similar things in years past to other people. Yeah, he really has, honestly. I am still friends with some of them. And while I've fallen out of contact with others, if you are uncomfortable with how I behaved, the apology is for you as well. Okay. No matter my intentions, I'm sorry the impact was harmful. I'm not reaching out to you myself again. I will not reach out to you myself again. So mind you, he's talking about Emily. So keep in mind. I would like to put, especially in my relationship, I love my girlfriend. She was aware this conversation took place, consented to it, and saw what I was posted. Well, I'm glad he said that because there was so much speculation on this one. I was like, why is he doing this when he has a girlfriend? That's the first thing that comes to mind. It crossed no lines set between us at the start of our relationship, and we are still together. I trust her to tell me if I do something to upset her. I wish to take this space to thank her for being with me through this and apologize for immense amount of stress to this situation because that hasn't been fair to her. Okay. So, separately, from above, I also want to touch on the discussion about other previous comments I've made about shoes over the years. Fitness and footwear are among my hobbies and not strictly fueled by anything more. I can get passionate about my interests, and I know understand how it come across and negatively affect others. One last time, I recognize I've hurt people, and I needed to be held accountable for it. I respect anyone who feels disappointed or hurt. I decided around the time of this incident I would never do this again and learn from it. But I would understand if you didn't wish to support me any longer. Okay. You know what? I'll even share it. I'll just say I like the accountability. Now, I will get into my final thoughts as well. So, we also have Josh being like, it's good. You know what? Even I will like it. He's trending. So, I don't think we'll find more about this situation. It definitely cleared up a lot nicer than I expected. Here we all thought that Lady Emily was like exposing someone for being so wholesome that, and I still have my reservations about Chugaconroy, for good reason, to be fair. The reason why is because I'm a street pass enthusiast, and he painted himself as a street pass enthusiast. So when I talked about it, everyone got all up in arms about me because they're all like, "Oh, well, you have to be a fan of Chugaconroy, and if you're not a fan of him, screw you." And this just shows how unhealthy parasocial relationships go online. People will literally cling onto anyone like the word of God, and they will literally go to them like they can do no wrong. And I think this definitely shows that Chugaconroy is at least willing to take accountability, which is a good step. I don't know how he's really going to really fulfill, because mind you, this is what he says. So we still have to it's like anything when an incident happens like this, you always have to wait until what happens after. So will I say that my me siding with Lady Emily was a bit premature in certain ways? Sure. Do I think it was unfounded? No. My thing is when I have a bad rapport with someone and then someone else comes along and shows a whole bunch of DMs and does something like that, it's hard for me not to side against the person when you have a really not so positive friendship. And I've had my fair share of bad friendships over the years. I'm not even going to hold back. I don't know how to talk to people half the time. I have this problem myself. And sometimes I don't know if it's my fault or the other person's fault. And I try to find the difference in the middle. We always try to hash things out. But sometimes the sad thing is you have to remember that, you have to stay true to yourself and you have to move on in a way that you can get some closure so you can feel as if, even if the situation or scenario wasn't the best, that at least you can live with yourself. And that's not easy for anyone, quite honestly. You know, uh, I just wish that when I asked Chugaconroy to be a part of my panel in attending, that he could have just been like, "Nick, I'm sorry, I can't attend your panel," and that's why I got so angry, because it was just like I put so much effort into that. I put so much, and you couldn't have the guts to tell me no. I get that I'm down here and you're up here, but to treat me like garbage just because I'm not a popular person is just trash, Chugga. And it's like, I don't like that. And, I don't like having to talk about things, but if we don't talk about things, you know what happens? Worse stuff. You know what? People are like, "Oh, I don't want drama." It's like, well, you know what? You can't handle the stuff on your plate, then don't even bother putting it on your plate. Then don't even bother being a part of the conversation. And no one wants that. People want to feel like they can enjoy things in life without feeling like they're always walking on eggshells or they can't make a decision. And that's just not the right thing to do, right? So, at the end of the day, you know, do I think Chugaconroy will survive from this? Sure. But, and this goes a big one, he needs to remember that he has a personal responsibility as a figurehead, as an idol with people, that he needs to conduct himself a certain way. And even if the diehard fanboys want to cling to him like the words of God or the Bible, that they have to remember that he's still human. And if he makes a mistake, he gets called out of it, just like I get called out of it. And no matter the popularity, I mean, just a few months ago, we had the whole completionist stuff. And, if we just treat people as if they can do no wrong, they're going to walk all over you. And, it's a hard thing to do. I mean, I struggle with that, again, with several other friendships. I'm starting to notice the time on this. I don't want this to go long because I know that I just want to have a conversation with my viewers. And if I could see Chugaconroy again, depending on how he is, if I don't know. This is a tough thing for me to even process still, because I look at it I'm like, okay, I'm giving you the point that Lady Emily went a bit too far with some of the aspects of the DMs. She wasn't as transparent when she came forward. But I'm not gonna hold back in saying that I was creeped out by it. Like, I looked at it and I'm like, This guy claims he's open about communication. That's not my experience with him, and that's just the truth. And Chug Con fans could go flame me on my video and do whatever they want, but when you have a certain friendship with someone, it changes how you feel about that person. And look, my friendship with him is strictly acquaintance at best. And I'm not even going to hold back in saying that. We're acquaintances. I barely know the person. We've talked a couple of times. I met him in 2013. I met him in 2017 after E3. Again at West. And, I don't, I'm trying to find the right words to say. I don't understand the popularity around him, but I respect that he has a fan base, and I respect that he really wants to contribute to the Nintendo community in a positive way. Even if, unfortunately, when you're talking about diehard fans, you're talking about a very difficult aspect that is hard to really really like get your hands around or really like wrap your mind around. And like again, I've tried watching his content. It's just not my thing. And do I think that makes something wrong with me? No. You're free to like or dislike whatever you want. Now, to have issues with that and to go my alarm went off. To have issues with someone just because you don't like them is one thing. But to have issues with someone because they acted a certain way and they made you feel uncomfortable, I think that's perfectly logical to come forward, right? People can't downsize someone just because they don't have value or weight in society. That shouldn't be how the world works, right? And if Chugaconroy was listening, I just want to have a conversation with him. I just want to be an adult, and he should be an adult too. And just remember, like if someone gets diagnosed with autism or Asperger's or anything, it's like they have to remember that at the end of the day, they're human just like anybody else, and that it doesn't necessarily make them a monster. It just means they have to know how to read their pros and their cons, and that's not again, and that's a thing across the board. That's not something that's just a Chugaconroy thing or a gaming honor thing. It's everybody. So just remember that the last closing statement I just want to say is that when it comes to a parasocial relationship, keep some of your fanboyisms, guys, a little bit back and just have more of a realistic expectation. Remember, that person's still human, just like you or me, and that person shouldn't necessarily be worshipped like they're like the inventor of sliced bread. But at the same time, if you want to like them because you really enjoy their content, that's great. But just remember that you have to have that kind of relationship with them that is respectful to them. Because if you don't, you can get situations like this. And, this just demonstrates about power dynamics. And at the end of the day, if you slip into someone's DMs, and I do want to say for Chugaconroy's sake, because I do wish him well, is that if you go into someone's DMs assuming that they're going to want something and you're pushing it constantly, not a good idea. And he should know this, and he does know this. And we don't have to take it any further, right? Because I don't want to see this go on and on. I don't like stuff like this going out like months. I mean, I know we all laughed at, like, say, Susie Liu, but even that, she should have stopped plagiarizing freaking anime or re-uploading content. But, as far as the tangent aside, the Chugaconroy situation, I just want him to realize that regardless of who you talk to, you have to conduct yourself in a way that is going to still be respectful to not just you, but the other person. And if you don't like me, just say it. I'm not going to lose sleep over it. You know how many people I would have more respect for if they could just be honest with me? I would be so much a happier person. And it's hard for even me to be honest because I feel like I say anything, everyone's going to get offended. So, that's basically my 2 cents. I really don't want this to go any further. So, but, we'll just leave it at here. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think about this whole Chugaconroy situation. Do you think it was blown out of proportion? Do you think that that it was handled the right way? Personally, I think time will tell because, this apology only is really more of a moving forward statement. So if he's going to move forward, he has to remember that he has to conduct himself in a way that understands that he can't use that power dynamic to be like, well, I'm a million subs, screw you. You can't do that to people. And I think that he hopefully realizes that when he's talking to someone, if he's trying to shove something like this to someone, regardless of his interest level, he has to keep in mind if the person's not interested. They're just not interested. And while it is a tough thing to swallow, I would rather the person be honest than to be than to either lie or to either just be flat out obnoxious. And that's just the truth. So anyway, guys, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video.